Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Downtown Library here in Modesto. We're doing another Stan Speaks monthly panel. Stan Speaks is a monthly forum sponsored by the Stanislaus County Library Foundation. And the foundation is composed of a bunch of library freaks who love words, books, and Dewey Decimal System. So appreciate you all being here tonight. We've done this for about 18 months. Tonight's topic is religion in our valley. Who cares? And if you've lived here any length of time, you know lots of people care about religion. The Valley, Central Valley, California, has a reputation for being the Bible Belt of California and a place in the western United States that has fervent religious activity. Has for years. Thousands of churches with hundreds of thousands of parishioners and people in the congregation. Tonight we have two pastors, county pastors, who will examine religion's growing popularity. Let me introduce both of these men of God. Pastor Jeff Pishney grew up in Iowa, went to college and graduate school in Virginia, and served at Big Valley Grace Community Church since 1995. Today he oversees all the church's global and local outreach endeavors. He is founder and coordinator for a small, insignificant community event called Love Modesto. I'm sure you've all heard of it. He's also created Love Our Cities. Those community-wide volunteer days have now been in over 40 cities, and they make a difference. He's also director of development for CMN, a local nonprofit organization helping Modesto leaders and influencers to work together to transform our community. He loves his faith, his wife Karen, his children Hayden and Allie, the Iowa Hawkeyes, who I think are 4-4 in the Big Ten. You know the record. That's great. Nebraska is a pretty tough team to beat.
That's our last game.
Yeah. And he also likes anything Mac, and he gave me these words. And I was thinking anything Mac, like I assume in Apple, not in big.
No, not makeup, not Mac makeup. Just so you
know.
Right. But Mac computer. Just I want to make that.
But it's not big. It's not a big Mac.
No, it's not Macs. You know.
On the flip side, he mentioned what he hates in this world. He hates injustice and indifference. I just met Pastor Jeff a few minutes ago, and but I'm way convinced this is a man of God who's made a positive impact on our earth. So welcome. Thank you very much. I do know our other panelists, Pastor Chuck Adams, who for the past 12 years has been the leader at the Carpenter's House congregation in Modesto, here in Modesto. For 38 years, you don't look that young. He is serving in a variety of ministry roles, having planted a church in Groveland, California, which is a stone's throw from here, 70 miles or so. With the indispensable help of his wife, Sherry, who's with us here tonight. Thanks for being here. He was just reelected to a second term as a presbyter for the central San Joaquin section of the Northern California, Nevada district of the Assemblies of God.
That's a mouthful.
Yes, and this gentleman here looked up Wikipedia. Presbyter is a member of the order of priests in churches of having episcopal hierarchies that include bishops, priests, deacons. I think the translation, he's an elder. He's a young elder. The pastor is a graduate of California State University, Stanislaus, local college, with a degree in music, and he's specializing in voice. No surprise, music has always been and continues to be a huge part of his life. Chuck and Sherry have been partners for almost 39 years, and are parents of two children, Chadwick and Courtney. They're also grandparents of one wonderful granddaughter, Zoe, who just turned 5. I met Pastor Chuck Adams a few months ago. He, like Pastor Jeff, is another man of God. This guy has his feet firmly planted on the earth. Pastor Chuck.
Good.
So those are our panelists, and here's one of the first softball questions for these two fine men of God. It's a play on our title. Do people in our Central Valley really care about religion? Do they care more than religious folks in other parts of California? And if they do, in your opinion, why do they care about religion in the Central Valley and in the desert? Pastor Chuck, you want to take that first?
I don't know that I would say they care more than people in other parts of California.
Okay.
I definitely think they care. I think the fact that you look at the number of churches in our area, I think that's an indicator of how deeply they care. I think that that really makes it an obvious point to us at how much they care, how many people go to church each week. I mean, even though we'll talk a little bit more in a moment about relative to the population, that may not be as much as we would like, yet there's still a good number. And the fact that a town the size of Modesto has 3, perhaps 4 churches that would be recognized as mega churches. I think that's significant.
And a mega church would be defined. Mega
Church of multiple thousands.
Wow.
That are present each week.
Okay. Jeff, thoughts on?
When I read that question, I didn't see the California. I just saw. So I started thinking about, do people in the valley care more about religion than people elsewhere?
Okay.
So I'm thinking, okay, the world, and then I've been all over the world, and I would say no.
Okay.
I think there's so many people in the world that really care more about their faith, whether it's a Hindu faith, a Jewish faith, Muslim faith, or even Christian faith, under persecution, under more impoverished situations than we live here. I mean, although in the valley we are certainly, I just read last couple of weeks that if the valley were a state, we'd be the poorest state, in America. But still, even in that, we are incredibly wealthy compared to the world. So I think there is often a correlation between wealth and disinterest in faith, and not always. No, it's not. It's not science and sense, but I think people realize you need when you don't have much. Wow, I need something more than just.
And I think that one of the things that I see too is folks who are going through a challenge, some kind of crisis. They're pretty open to someone saying, you know what, I'll pray for you. And most of the folks that I find are pretty responsive to that. Now, whether or not it goes a whole lot deeper than that, or maybe just some kind of surface level kind of approach, yet there seems to be a welcomeness to that whole idea of someone praying for me.
And I think I do see that if you compare to the rest of California. I mean, we've all been to the coast and to the city, and the number of churches. I counted the number of churches in Modesto, Modesto as well as Stanislaus County, and then I also included Ripon and Escalon, because it's kind of our area, right? Yeah. The number of churches I counted, this was 3 years ago, was 636 churches. 636 churches in our whole area here. That's a lot of churches.
That's a lot of churches.
And we're pretty church. Turlock, we know, a few years back, it was known as one of the most church cities.
I think in the Guinness Book of World Records, somebody had said, I've never checked that out.
I haven't checked that either, but it's certainly one of our legends.
See, that's where I did my research, and let me teach you the label Bible Belt of California.
Yeah.
I've lived in a few places, former New Yorker, SF, Sin City, Las Vegas, New Orleans. And in those cities, when you socialize with people, if you're at a cocktail session, I meet Chuck Adams, and she says, "Hi, how are you? What do you do?"
Yeah.
Okay. Unfortunately, in America, it's not who you are; it's what you do.
Sure.
I can tell you, not that I socialize a lot as a former PR guy, but when you're in a cocktail party, sometimes it's the first question: "What's your church?" Here in Modesto. I mean, it's happened to me in 11 years I've lived there.
Okay.
And that is to a city, New York City, where that's a shocker.
Yeah. Because
religion is way down.
Yeah.
in those big, in my opinion, those big cities.
Yeah.
That's what's impressed me.
Yeah.
And meeting the people, they seem to be more connected. With and not just going to church for X hours, an hour or X hours on Sunday, but taking their, living their faith, taking their faith outside of the four walls and living it the rest of the week. It needs to be a different place in terms of religion.
When you extend the question by saying, if this is true, is it something in the water? And I would say it's in a pool of another sort. It's in the gene pool. Because we have a lot of folks who moved to this area with families, perhaps grandparents at this stage, who came west during the Dust Bowl era of the Depression, and those folks, it's the Bible Belt transferred here to Central California, along with the density of Hispanic population that we have and the strong connection that they have to the Catholic Church. So I think there's a lot of that.
I would say that.
And then your mention of the Depression,